Hello, it's Connor here for day 59 of meditation. And today we didn't meditate a crazy amount because we're talking to people and doing things. But we got a good little period in, and through that session and through reading as well, we recognized, I guess it was displayed of the generative king in this book I was reading. Pretty much like a king isn't built on manipulation, sabotage, and destructive thoughts towards others, and belittling, jealousy, all of that. It is built through being generous, through giving, through seeing and loving people. A takeaway being that if we are to be generous towards others, if we are truly able to see them, or if people feel seen, recognized, acknowledged, and blessed in a sense that they feel welcomed, they feel like they can be themselves, they feel seen, and they are being supported to pursue anything that they wish to pursue. If we can see people in that light, then it will greatly boost their happiness in life and how much they prosper as well, over being judged, belittled, looked down upon, unheard, and just not seen. You can see the difference quite clearly. Being seen, being acknowledged, for you personally, it's very welcoming, it's very enlightening. You're very confident in your ability to do things. Whereas the opposite, it's you start building the patterns of thought of unworthiness and beating yourself up and destructive thoughts. So do we really want to give this to people, or would we like to, allow everyone to prosper in a sense? So be generous, be loving, and truly see other individuals. Truly seeing is to be present with them, to listen to them completely. You want a cup. You have a cup. You don't have a hole in the bottom. The cup isn't upside down. No water is going in that cup, or if it is, it's leaking out the opposite side. You want a cup, a good sturdy cup, and no holes. And when people pour water into it, which is speech, you want it to fill up, and you want to obtain what they're talking about and speaking about. You have to see people and listen to people, and acknowledge their flaws and their strengths, and cherish all of it. We are people. We are not meant to be perfect. So love each and every part. The other one was This World is Like a 10D movie. Yes, that Alan Watts has talked about that before. Essentially, we see a movie, we see a character. So it's a point of view movie. We see a character, and the character runs around and does stuff. 10D movie, the character still runs around and does stuff, but we've got emotions, we've got feelings, we've got the hot, the cold, we can actually touch things, feel things, smell things, hear things. It is truly a euphoric movie. And as we all know in movies have good times, bad times, retributions, whatever. They've got everything under the planet. Well, the world has more, mate. In the world you can do with whatever you want to do. But when we navigate, it is kind of a movie. We see what is before us, and we feel everything around us. And we've got this little thing called consciousness, which maybe makes it 11D. So yeah, strange stuff. Anyway, we'll leave it for you to think upon. We'll meditate on it more tomorrow, because today wasn't the best. I mean, it was a good meditation, but it's just short. And yeah, we'll delve into it more when we have contemplated on it. Anyway, see ya. Hello, day 60 of meditation. And, well, today we started reading a book on social anxiety. We've only read the introduction, and that's a CBT based approach, more Western approach. But today, I guess I'm going to give you the rundown, more of a spiritual approach to overcoming anxiety, which I call the Just Be method, which we meditated a little bit on to like reformulate in the brain. So just be, if you're dealing with anxiety, social anxiety, any of that, and this is one of many perspectives, and there's a lot more to everything as well. But yeah, if you're dealing with social anxiety, the Just Be approach talks about internal and external labels. So essentially, external labels are if we are speaking to another or speaking to a group of people, then external labels is we are, instead of looking outside, obviously we see and we talk and everything, we're kind of looking towards ourselves. So instead of perceiving the outside world, we are navigating from an external perspective where we're more confining ourselves to how the outside world sees us. Which means, if we say something wrong or make a mistake in a sentence or perceive ourselves, that's more internal. If we look from the outside in, if I'm speaking to someone and I'm too busy thinking about how they see me, then we're attaching labels to ourselves about how they may see us. If we perceive that they see us as awkward, per se, then we attach that label to ourselves and we play on that perception that they see us as that. It's attaching labels to yourself, and we do this a lot. We can attach a lot of labels to ourselves. And then we have the internal perspective, which is essentially the labels we create internally for ourselves. So if we say, I've got high anxiety, we attach that label to ourselves, we build upon it, and then going into conversations with others, naturally we already have this preconceived idea that we have high anxiety, so we're not going to navigate the situation as clearly as, we're not going to navigate it from our pure self. So Just Be essentially says, instead of, and that all comes from labels, and the thing about labels is it's not really who we are. If we attach a gazillion labels to ourselves, label, inside and out, we attempt to conform to these labels, or we don't even attempt to conform to them, we naturally conform to them because it's how we're depicting ourselves from others' point of view and our own point of view. But the thing about the labels is we're unique individuals. We have across the board like infinite amount of personality traits, perspectives, thoughts, being, we're very unique, that if we're attaching labels to ourselves, we're just confining ourselves to someone who we are not, and we're not going to be as genuine in our conversations because our true self is here and the labels we place are here in front, and we attach all these labels and then we project that, and we project this into the interactions we are having. It's kind of like masking, it's kind of like putting up a mask, but it's a projection of a false self which we have attached labels to rather than the true self, which truly doesn't have any labels. And that's where Just Be comes in, because Just Be is just be in the moment, like be as it is, and just be just as you are. To elaborate on this, instead of looking inwards on oneself so much, try and look outwards, out into the world. Don't be attaching things to yourself, but truly take in the environment and the people that you're with by seeing them, by seeing them before you. So it's kind of like not encompassing oneself, no thoughts on oneself, but thoughts on others, and seeing people for where they stand before you, instead of too busy in here. and listening to them properly, like fully listening, not playing with the mental, and pretty much just taking in the environment. Just be with the environment, without continual thought towards oneself. Put continual thought towards the external and the people in it. Place your emphasis on the other person, and just talk to them, instead of placing so much emphasis on needing to be something or needing to do something, or this depiction of what you have to be. So moral of the story is, and we can definitely elaborate on this more, I think there's a blog and a video on it in the past, and if you want clarification, just message or comment or whatever. But essentially, stop looking inwards towards oneself, stop attaching labels towards oneself based on other perceptions and your own, and instead switch from here to here and look out into the world and navigate the world by just being in it and just seeing it before you, and navigating from an outwards approach, looking outwards rather than looking inwards. Just be yourself. Don't conform to the labels, because you're not those labels. You are a lot more than those labels. And when you can dissolve these labels, then you allow this self to come and become the genuine self, the authentic self, which navigates the environment and is with the environment as well. So yeah, can definitely elaborate more, but that's what we'll keep with today. I'll update you on that book, the CBT approach and everything, once we've read it all, and yeah, we'll give many different approaches to anxiety, and they talk about exposure therapy and stuff, and yeah, all sorts of stuff, so we'll delve into that. Anyway, thank you. See ya. Hello, Connor here. For day 61 of meditations, and today we did a long meditation, which was nice, and we have to call this person a psychologist, like I don't know, he founds a company and stuff, which is a friend of my mum's friend, and yeah, we're essentially going to be calling him for mentorship to an extent, or to learn stuff to an extent, which would be pretty cool. Though I'm yet to call him. I tried to call him, didn't work. But yeah, we kind of meditated on just running through psychological stuff. So we ran through depression, we think depression, or we ran through a lot of stuff, and I guess our own perspectives on stuff. The problem with psychology, or not problem, the good thing about psychology, is any issues we have, there's so many angles to tackle it from that will rewire our brains in a certain way, and our perceptions. So yeah, essentially I ran through a couple concepts such as like depression, resulting from sometimes masking and not being able to, or not feeling comfortable to produce your authentic and genuine self out into the world, so we can cover up that self and feel, not fully ourselves, and then we can negatively self-talk about ourselves as well. And yeah, depression, anxiety, we kind of talked about that yesterday, how it's like looking too inwards on oneself, analysing oneself too much when it's not really necessary. It's like the spotlight's on you, and you perceive everything to be like looking and assessing you, and everyone's too busy doing that to themselves, so you may as well look out and see what's before you. We delved into, I guess, our current theory is, I don't really know, it's spiritual. It's kind of all over the shop, because it's like not from any set plan, if that makes sense. Like the psychology we kind of do, it's not like we learned and we did it. I mean, we did learn stuff over time, but it's kind of like you just grab pieces of everything that makes sense and we put it together. But I would say it's very humanistic, which essentially means believing people have potential within them, but this potential remains unfound until you can work through the everyday struggles and the everyday mental hardships. Yeah, like the small sufferings, or not, but like the baseline recovery methods to any situation that you're in. Like it's about working through that through like CBT and everything, cognitive behavior therapy, and then building into potential, and also a spiritual approach, finding the true self and allowing one to navigate from their authentic self rather than the depiction they give off into the world. So yeah, I know today's a bit of ramble about a call, but yeah, essentially meditation was just prepping and trying to be in the right mindset to make a phone call to a high up psychologist. So that should be fun. We'll try and make it after. We'll let you know how we go. So yeah, sorry there's not much key insight or many learnings today. Guess there's 3 little ones: anxiety, depression, and yeah, the first one we talked about. So yeah, should be good. But yeah, we'll delve into more. Oh, we did use contemplative meditation as well. I believe contemplation's a big one, as we've said before. If you can contemplate existence and life itself, you can contemplate the things worrying us on a day-to-day basis. Contemplate it, realize the reality of it, and yeah, pursue from that reality, because sometimes it's not as deep as we perceive it. Little learnings. Anyway, that's day 61, and we'll see you for day 62. See ya.